already told you Ken and Gypsy broke up. Okay, that's a fact. Ken is allegedly back in Texas for sure, allegedly. It's been alleged that he's at his mama's. So he's with Miss Raina, allegedly. Now, I've heard that he has only been in Louisiana a couple of times last month for filming, and he's been MIA ever since. So when y'all said homeboy is like, where's Waldo? You ain't never lie. Listen, I think Ken was like a runaway slave on that highway to get back to Texas, child. I would too. Because when you deal with someone like Gypsy Rose Blanchard and that type of toxicity, yeah, I is free, massa. I is free.
Ken Urker has finally dropped the last bombshell about his relationship with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. The internet has been buzzing with speculation and theories as Ken's actions and recent revelations seem to paint a clearer picture of their tumultuous relationship. Allegedly, Ken has moved back to Texas to live with his mother, Raina Williams, putting a significant physical and emotional distance between himself and Gypsy. This move over 600 miles and 9 hours away has fueled rumors that Ken is completely done with Gypsy. Let's dive into this unraveling story and dissect the layers behind it. To understand the depth of this situation, we need to go back to June, when Ken decided to move to New Orleans, Louisiana. At the time, it was believed that this move was motivated by love, a way for Ken to be closer to Gypsy as their romance blossomed. Christy Blanchard, Gypsy's stepmother, mentioned in an interview with the People magazine that Ken's relocation had been planned as early as May, and he was scouting for a suitable place to settle. However, new details suggesting that love may not have been the driving force behind Ken's decision. Raina Williams, Ken's mother, shed some light on the situation during the Sam Morbid live stream in September. According to Raina, Ken's move to Louisiana only happened after he discovered Gypsy was pregnant. This revelation suggests that Ken's decision was more about obligation than romance.
I love Ken. I mean, I think in so many ways he's a great guy. Do we make stupid decisions sometimes? Of course. But unlike so many people in the room, I don't hate Gypsy. I've met her. I talked to her. I'm like Ken. I met Gypsy from the documentary on HBO, and I had a lot of sympathy, you know?
Sure. Mommy dearest.
Right. And now I feel, I still feel the same way. I mean, I've definitely seen other things since then that have made me go, wow, it's not
as black and white as you thought it was.
Right.
Mirroring the dynamics of Gypsy's parents, Rod and Didi Blanchard. Like Rod, who felt compelled to marry Didi due to her pregnancy, Ken might have felt trapped by the circumstances rather than driven by genuine affection. Fast forward to the present, and Ken's move back to Texas seems to be his way of escaping an unhappy and draining situation. The parallels between Ken's relationship with Gypsy and Rod's relationship with Didi are striking. Both men found themselves making significant life decisions for wrong reasons, only to realize they needed to prioritize their own well-being. Ken's return to Texas marks a significant turning point in this narrative, signaling not just a physical departure but also an emotional one. Observers have speculated that the weight of his circumstances in Louisiana left Ken feeling increasingly isolated and burdened.
I already told you Ken and Gypsy broke up. Okay, that's a fact. Ken is allegedly back in Texas for sure, allegedly. It's been alleged that he's at his mama's. So he's with Miss Raina, allegedly. Now, I've heard that he has only been in Louisiana a couple of times last month for filming, and he's been MIA ever since. So when y'all said homeboy is like, where's Waldo? You ain't never lie. Listen, I think Ken was like a runaway slave on that highway to get back to Texas, child. I would too. Because when you deal with someone like Gypsy Rose Blanchard and that type of toxicity, yeah, I is free, massa. I is free. Now, remember, Miss Raina says she watched Becca Scoops and she realized who Gypsy really was. And she was concerned about her grandbaby, but she said she was hoping for the best.
Friends close to the couple have hinted that Ken struggled to find moments of genuine joy amidst the obligations tied to his relationship and the Lifetime show. His interactions with Gypsy often seemed mechanical, as though he were fulfilling a checklist rather than engaging with genuine affection. This detachment became more apparent in pivotal moments such as Gypsy's memoir promotions and her divorce court hearing, where Ken's absence left many questioning his emotional investment. It's possible that Ken's mental state was a mix of frustration and fatigue, and a longing for freedom, emotions that likely pushed him toward the decision to leave Louisiana. Returning to his mother's home in Texas might have been a way for Ken to reconnect with his roots, seek support, and regain the clarity he needed to move forward. This context helps explain Ken's absence during pivotal moments in Gypsy's life. For instance, when Gypsy was actively promoting her memoir, My Time to Stand, Ken was noticeably absent.
As you all know, Gypsy Rose had a book signing in New Orleans at the Garden District Bookstore on Friday the 13th. Now, one day following that, I went to the bookstore and they completely ridded their shelves of Gypsy Rose Blanchard's book. But those who attended the book signing were quite surprised that Gypsy's boyfriend and father to her child-to-be, Ken Urker, was nowhere to be found. Now, while this event, if you went to it, clearly seemed like something that was put together for a Lifetime production, it's arguably a big event. Gypsy did write a book. Well, with the help of 2 co-authors. And her boyfriend and father of her child, Ken Urker, wasn't there for this big moment of Gypsy's? Now, you may remember that rumors have been circulating for a while about the status of Gypsy Rose Blanchard's relationship with Ken. And Gypsy recently had a baby shower, which was a part of her Lifetime production, and Ken was there. But just last week, Ken was not there to support his girlfriend for her book signing event. Gypsy was accompanied only by her stepmother, Christy, and father, Rod.
These absences hint at deeper disconnect, one that may have been brewing for months. The move back to Texas also speaks a broader narrative of self-preservation. Ken, like many people in emotionally taxing situations, might have reached a breaking point where staying any longer would have jeopardized his mental and emotional health. The choice to return to his mother's home in Texas can be seen as a reset, a chance to gain clarity and reclaim his own sense of stability.
And she was hoping for the best. So she did say she took off them rose-colored glasses, y'all. Y'all remember that video where I told Miss Raina to be careful? Do y'all remember that? All right, y'all, it's time to spin the block.
This shift doesn't just signal the end of physical proximity to Gypsy, it suggests a need for emotional and psychological distance as well. One crucial element complicating this situation is Ken's contractual obligations with Lifetime reality TV contracts, often require participants to maintain certain appearances to avoid spoiling the show's narrative. Typically, these contracts include strict non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, preventing participants from revealing major plot points or personal developments that could affect the audience's engagement. For Ken and Gypsy, this likely means projecting an image of a stable and loving relationship regardless of their real-life dynamics. Publicly revealing a breakup or conflict outside the control narrative of the program would not only violate their agreement, but could also result into legal penalties or financial repercussions. Lifetime's production team carefully crafts these story arches, ensuring that twists and turns unfold in ways that maximize viewership. Ken's social media activity reflects this dynamic. When breakup rumors start to spread, Ken often posts updates that depict his relationship with Gypsy in a positive light, seemingly to counteract the speculation. These updates often appear strategic, almost as if they are designed to quell speculation and maintain the illusion of a happy couple. For instance, after reports emerged about Ken moving back to Texas, he shared an Instagram story featuring Gypsy with the caption, "Holiday weather, 8 out of 10. Home decorations, 9 out of 10. Gypsy and my baby girl, 10 out of 10.
Are Gypsy Rose and Ken Urker pretending to be together for the new season of Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup on Lifetime? Or did they really break up last month when the rumors started circulating? Is Gypsy Rose really pregnant? Did she already have the baby? Is she wearing a prosthetic baby bump? These rumors are still circulating. When Gypsy was on Kel Lowry's podcast, she said the rumors that they broke up are not true. And Ken has publicly said that Lifetime does not make them do anything. Lifetime simply follows their life. Is that true?
At first glance, this might seem like an innocent post, but when viewed in the broader context of their relationship dynamics, it raises questions about authenticity. Observers have noted telling signs of detachment in Ken's posts. For instance, in photos, Gypsy often displays affection by holding on to Ken tightly or leaning onto him, while Ken's expressions appear neutral and even distant. The dynamic was also evident during their baby shower, where Gypsy looked enthusiastic and engaged, but Ken's demeanor seemed forced and disinterested. These patterns suggest a disconnect that goes beyond just their social media, reflecting deeper issues in their relationship. Another major point of contention has been the paternity test results that Gypsy shared in November. This move backfired as Gypsy faced significant backlash for airing such personal details. Ken remained silent during this period, which many interpreted as a sign that he was distancing himself from Gypsy. However, in early December, Ken finally addressed the controversy by posting the same paternity test results on his TikTok account. This delayed response seemed like another attempt at damage control. Critics questioned the timing and authenticity of Ken's post, with some even speculating that Gypsy wrote the caption for him. Many pointed to the grammar and phrasing of the caption, which included several errors and awkward constructions such as "I do not want no false allegations speculating." Observers noted that this writing style closely resembles Gypsy's known patterns from her previous posts and statements, which often include similar grammatical mistakes. Furthermore, commenters theorized that Gypsy's controlling nature in their relationship could extend to managing how Ken publicly addresses issues, especially those that directly affect her image. The caption read, "I very rarely speak out as to why I'm only doing this now is I do not want no false allegations speculating when it comes to my child. Me and Gypsy had the DNA done and this is the results. I can't wait to be a father. It has always been a dream of mine. Maybe this might put theories to rest." The grammatical errors and tone led many commenters to believe that Gypsy was pulling the strings behind these scenes. Ken's mother, Raina Williams, has expressed her concerns about his relationship with Gypsy during the Morbid livestream. She openly admitted to having reservations, explaining that while she tried to remain optimistic, Gypsy's troubled past made her worry. Raina stated, "As a mother, I just want what's best for my son, and I have to admit, I have had my worries. Gypsy has been through so much, and that kind of history doesn't just disappear."
The first time Ken walked away, were you almost relieved that this was going to be in the past?
I mean, no, not really. I wasn't upset with it in the beginning because I guess there was the, I don't know, she was still in, I wasn't upset. Yeah. And when he walked away, he really battled with that because he didn't want to hurt her.
What was he battling with during that time? Or he broke up with her and then, as a mom, if he shared with you?
It was mutual. It was in the very beginning. It was my understanding it was mutual. This is right after I met Gypsy. And I had told her, whatever you do, don't get married while you're in prison.
She elaborated on how difficult it was to reconcile her hopes for Ken's happiness when the realities of Gypsy's She elaborated how difficult it was to reconcile her hopes for Ken's happiness with the realities of Gypsy's notoriety. You hear all these things about someone, and no matter how hard you try, it's hard to fully trust the situation, she said. Raina also expressed frustration over the public scrutiny surrounding Ken and Gypsy's relationship, adding, "I know people have their opinions and it's hard to see my son in the middle of all that scrutiny. He deserves peace." Now that Ken returned to Texas, Raina is likely relieved to have her son home where he can find the clarity and support he needs. For Raina, the distance may offer a chance for Ken to step away from the emotional turbulence and regain control of his own path. She noted during the live stream, "Sometimes you need space to see things clearly, and I think this is that time for Ken." Her words reflected a mix of maternal concern and hope for her son's future. Despite Ken's claims that Lifetime isn't dictating their actions, it's hard to ignore the influence of reality TV on their relationship. The need to maintain a compelling narrative for the show has likely added pressure and complexity to an already strained dynamic. Ken's move back to Texas might mark a pivotal step toward reclaiming his independence while navigating the complex demands of his reality TV commitments. By distancing himself physically and emotionally, Ken could be prioritizing his mental well-being after what seems to have been a taxing chapter in his life. As we piece together the layers of this story, it's clear that Ken and Gypsy's relationship is far from simple. From the initial motivations behind Ken's move to Louisiana to the current speculation about their breakup, every detail adds another dimension to this unfolding drama. What do you think about Ken's decision to move back to Texas? Do you believe his social media posts are genuine, or are they part of a calculated strategy to maintain appearances? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this ongoing story.